Hello everybody and a very warm welcome back to the latest episode of Hidden Jewels of Soul and Disco. I do hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. In this week's episode, we are dreaming wild. I don't know about you, but I do love if a record has a history, a kind of story surrounding this record. And with Dreaming Wild, that's absolutely the case. Donnie and Joey Emerson worked hard on their father's farm in Fruitland. And they emerged a talent for music. They started to play instruments, to write songs. And Don Emerson Sr. saw that and he said, well, let's take a big risk. But I trust my boys. So he sold some acres from his farm to finance a studio on that farm. And the total amount of money he invested was $100,000. It was an absolutely state-of-the-art studios. They had very high-end equipment and they made the best out of it. They recorded in that studio from 1979 till 1981 and recorded around 70 songs. In 1979, they released their debut album and it was called Dreaming Wild, and here it is in all of its 70s fashioned glory. So as you can see, Elvis had an influence on these guys, especially the high collar. That's an absolutely Elvis style and it's a beautiful album. Unfortunately, at that time, it wasn't that people wouldn't have loved it. The thing was that the family had no connections to the music business and didn't really know about distribution and marketing, because if you have a record out and nobody knows about it, who's gonna buy it? So just a few copies of the original albums were sold. Well, Donnie continued to a solo career in music and Joey stayed on the farm with his father and the album was forgotten. Till 2008, Jack Fleischer, who is a dedicated vinyl record collector, found a copy of this album in Spokane for $5. He looked at the cover and said, well, never judge a book by its cover. And he looked at the tracks and was impressed that this was all original material. So he gave it a try and was stunningly shocked. So he spread the news about Dreaming Wild to everyone. And this album became an instant smash. Light in the Attic did a reissue album, and also this word of that album got even wider. And there was also a follow-up album to this, Still Dreaming Wild, with songs which the guys recorded between 1979 and 1981. I would say, before we get into the details of if you want an original, I would say, let's have a listen. Of dreams. If you are now saying, I kind of dig that, and you love to collect original pressings, well, you have to consider, if you want to have an original copy of this album, it's between $250 and $450 or euros. But I would highly suggest that there are many available reissues, also limited editions of this album out there, and they're available, they're affordable, and if you want to have it on vinyl, I would highly suggest get you one of these reissues. Also, the guys performed at an anniversary party for Light at the Attic in October 2012, and it was also a smashing hit. I do love the fact that these guys are still around, that their parents are still around, and they've been being chased almost by news coverage, by reporters, to want to hear the fantastic story about their musical career. So it was a long time coming, this album, and it's now a fantastic chance for everybody to see it, to check it out, and also for the guys and for their parents that they finally see the success of their voice, which they know they had all along, the trust in them, that they were highly talented. I hope you enjoyed that small episode of Hidden Jewels of Soul and Disco. Stay tuned for other episodes which will be shown up here on the playlist, and I'll see you next time. Bye.